Hey, let's practice finding possible rational zeros. Now, earlier, I showed you guys, we have P divided by Q. Okay, P are all the factors of the constant, which is why I like to say L divided by F, because I think of L as like the last term. The last term is your constant. What are all the factors of 1?
1.
Yeah, 1.
Yay.
But you could also go -1 times -1, right? So it's actually positive and minus 1. So whatever factor you find, make sure you do positive and minus. And then the Q is the factors of all the first term. That's the leading coefficient. And that's a 1. So that's the same thing, plus or minus 1. You guys good? Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is going to get kind of crazy for a second because I want to show you guys how to read this. This has a lot of different numbers involved in it. It has a positive 1 divided by a negative 1. And it has a negative 1 divided by a negative 1. And it has a positive 1 divided by a positive 1. And it has a positive 1 divided by a negative 1. Now, 1 is a pretty special number because check it out. I already did that one? Oh, dang it. Which one did I not do? Negative 1 divided by a positive 1? Oh, thank you. Man, you guys are good. Okay, this right here will give me a negative 1. This right here will give me a positive 1. This will also give me a positive 1. And this will also give me a negative 1. So what are all my possible rational zeros? -1 and 1. Okay, now how do I know for sure if they're rational zeros? You can do it two ways. You can just plug it in and see if they work, or you can use synthetic division. I'm going to use synthetic division just so I can practice with the remainder theorem. We get 1, 0, 1, 1. That's because we have a 1 right here, we have a 0x squared, we have a 1 right there, and then a 1 right there. So it's 1, 0, 1, 1. And then I'm going to put right here a possible rational zero, which I think might be 1. So I do it. I drop the 1. I go 1 times 1, I get 1. I go 0 plus 1, I get 1. And then I'll go 1 times 1, and I get 1. So after I put a 1 right there, I go 1 plus 1, which is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, and then I get 3. So is 1 a 0?
No.
Did we get a 0 right there?
No.
No. So this is not a 0. Let's test the negative 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. Bring down the 1. 1 times -1 is -1. 0 plus -1 is -1. -1 times -1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. -1 times 2 is -2. And I get -1. Oh, snap. Is that a 0? No. So is this a 0? No. So does a possible rational zero test always work? No, it doesn't. Okay, so this one probably has no zeros. No rational zeros. It might have imaginary zeros, but no rational ones.
How is that like?
Now that was just practice for finding possible rational zeros. The next one I want to do for you guys shows you guys why we would find possible rational zeros. Here we go.